Alright then, well, let's take a look at how to practice these scales, and we will just go through a couple of different things to consider and concentrate on when you're working on them. Okay, and to me the first and very important and probably the most important thing is intonation, you know, when we work on scales, when we work on sound and pitch. And it really ties together with what I just said about absorbing a sound, you know, because once you absorb the sound of a scale or an interval or a chord or anything, your ears will be able to recall that sound. So that's a really good start for your intonation, because your ears will not let you go until they hear what they hear inside from your instrument. So unless you played what your ears are hearing inside, and that comes out of your instrument, your ears will not let go. And just to give you a quick demonstration of that, let's say I'm just going to play a G, an A, and a B flat here on the G string, which is kind of the last three notes of B flat major here. Now, I think I'm quite well in tune because I have that sound in my ears and it matches the sound that I'm hearing from the bass. So my ears are quite happy. Now, if I play just a little bit out of tune, yeah, my ears are really protesting right now. I don't think they like this too much. So they will not let you go until you really played those notes right into the middle of the pitch that they need to be. Okay, so that's a real great start, like I said before. Now another thing about that is that as we go through these different tonalities, different scales and different positions here, our ears unfortunately can be misguided a little bit. Sometimes our hands can just slip a little bit, just a little tiny bit, that will make our ears think that maybe we stepped to a different tonality, or the tonality that we were playing actually is from a different note. You know, let's say we got to the third or fourth note of the major scale and we just slipped a little bit, and our ears will already think that the fourth note is actually starting not exactly from where it really needed to be, but maybe we're a little bit low, or maybe we're a little bit high, so we're a little bit flat or sharp, you know. So to check on that, it's really great. You know, we've got the best device, our open strings. So, and it's a really great idea to just use your open strings to check the notes you're playing, just to make sure that really they are the notes that you need to play. Okay, so for example, if I play a scale that has a little bit of sliding or a little bit of shifting in it, let's say for example the C major scale, the last four notes of the C major scale, from the open G, an A to a B and to a C. I mean, I know the sound of the scale, so I think this is quite alright, this is in tune as much as I can tell. But just to make sure, I'm going to check these notes, check this A against an open D, and you need to hear this real nice big full of overtones kind of sound. That's when you know that your note is straight in the middle of the pitch of that note. Okay, let's see, we'll go on to the B, or check it with an E. Yeah, that sounds in tune. Now if you're just a little bit out of tune, you'll hear it immediately, like that. So let's correct that, and that's that B. And let's say we'll play that C as well. Let's say we'll use an open A, which will create a minor 10th sound, which is a minor third but an octave higher, but with an octave difference. Okay, and you can hear that that's not quite well in tune as well. Not like that. You can really hear the difference, can't you, if you just start to slide about. So let's try to get into the middle of that C here, and that's that right there, and then back to the A, and back to your open G. So that's basically just playing notes, playing stop notes against open strings, just to check what you're playing. Okay, and in every different scale, I'm going to always give you some really good matching open strings to the notes that you're playing, that the notes that you're stopping with your fingers. Okay, there will be just a few scales, you know, the ones that have a lot of flats and a lot of sharps in them, that will be a little bit more difficult to check with open strings, because they will not really have many of the open strings within the tonality, within the scale itself. But we'll try to pick some notes that are that create some nice intervals, nice, really instantly recognizable intervals, so we can check what we're doing. Okay, but like I said, a lot more of that in the individual cases of each scales are coming in the next videos now. Okay, so intonation is really important. Now another thing is that check your posture and positioning. Okay, because that is another factor in your intonation. So check your positioning of your fingers, like we learned before. Okay, check your posture. Make sure that your fingertips are connected to the string. Okay, use your weight of your arm, so you don't really have to squeeze a lot. Okay, all this stuff. And remember, as we come in to the lower strings, bring your shoulder in so you can maintain that real nice posture that you had on the G string. Okay, that real nice straight posture there. Maintain that for the D, for the A, and for the E as well. Like I said before, it gets a little bit more difficult on the E string, but it's nothing a little bit of work can't remedy or can get right. Okay, so that's very important as well, your posture and your positioning of your fingers. Okay, so for your intonation, and basically just physically for your technique. All right, and now another thing is to call your notes out, because we are as much as we are learning our scales here, we're also learning an instrument, and so we are learning the layout of the fingerboard. We're learning the geography of the fingerboard. So what I used to do, and this really helped me a lot, is that I would just play a scale with whatever it was. It doesn't matter, you know, D flat, D, whatever, and I would just play that scale. Let's say we play the D flat, and I would just watch my hand and call my notes out. So from the D flat, okay, so that's the D flat, so that's there. The E flat is there, the F is there, the G flat is there, the A flat is back up there on the G string, the B flat is there, now the C is there, and the D flat is up there. So I'm watching my hand, I'm watching my left hand, so I can learn almost like braille reading, you know, learn where these notes are on the fingerboard, and also what the scale actually includes, you know, like that. So that's really important, because with that, when you learn your fingerboard and it actually stops being an obstacle for you, it'll be really helpful for your reading, because you can just concentrate on reading the music, as opposed to having to watch your hand all the time and, oh Jesus Lord, where am I, you know, what am I doing here? When that becomes automatic, or really just kind of builds into your musical system, reading becomes much easier, you know, and that is a very good thing. Okay, now just one more thing before we go, and that would be about finger patterns and fingerings. And what happens, you'll recognize this very soon actually, that as we play through these different scales, there'll be common finger patterns, common fingerings that will be the same for different tonalities, you know. So for example, let's say from the fifth note of D flat major, from the A flat here, you can go up to the root with a 1, 4, 2, 4 fingering there. Now that exact fingering, 1, 4, 2, 4, will take you through also to D, to your D major scale. So from the A, 1, 4, 2, 4. If you play your E flat major scale, let's say start on a B flat, 1, 4, 2, 4. Yeah. So what I'm saying here is that you still have to learn your notes in your scales, you know, because that's common musical knowledge. So we need to know them. But basically, a physical motion, a common physical motion, will make it just make our lives much more easier, our playing much more easier and simpler. And believe me, that's what you want to do. You want to simplify your playing physically as much as possible, so your playing can become as economical and basically as good and as precise as possible. Okay, and by knowing little devices like that, you know, little finger patterns, little fingerings that will work in different tonalities, is a great way to really simplify your playing. Okay. All right, now I think we have actually, having said all of that, I think we've really covered quite a few things about the major scale and how to kind of really get into working on them. and they're coming now in the next 12 videos, you know, individually every scale. But come back to this video and watch this video again and again, so you remember how and what you need to look out for when how to practice, and what you need to look out for when you practice these scales. Okay, and with all this said and done, I'm gonna let you go, and let's get into it, and let's start with our B flat major and F major scale in half position. But in the meantime, thanks a lot, you guys, for joining me here in my bass lounge. It's great to have you here, and I'm really hoping that these videos are helping you to get better and on your way to become a real good player. Okay, so I'll see you shortly.